Ladies and gentlemen, brothers and sisters, and any other people that may not feel recognized by the titles that I have used, you are very much welcome to this channel once again as we try to break down what has really not functioned properly well in our society with a view or with remedies, proposals for remedies that we think can help us to manage our society better for purposes of delivering better services, especially to the working people. I told you from the very beginning that I'm going to speak about the different aspects of society, but my major focus is on the workers and their organizations, because this is an area that I have functioned in for a very long time, and I feel saddened that even though we have been able to do what we think was right, to do what we think was useful, we have not been able to deliver what is required or what is expected of us by the workers. We therefore are now using this opportunity to talk about issues that I believe, if addressed, will help the workers of Uganda to benefit much more from the work they do, as opposed to what is currently the practice now. We have time and again spoken about abuse of rights. We've spoken about abuse of rights, violation of rights. This is a very serious matter, although sometimes when we talk about advocating for people's rights, these days we've seen politicians making fun of it. They think that it is not really necessary to talk about the rights of the people, because the reason why they don't believe it is necessary is because they feel inconvenienced every time you talk about a society that is composed of people whose rights are trampled upon. Because these are things which must be respected. Naturally, we must be able to know that a human being exists, but with fundamental rights that we don't need even anyone to come and teach us. But because the society has so much deviated from the norms, people now have adopted new forms of management of society, which include deeply embedded abuse of other people's rights. And this aspect of abusing people's rights is greatly beneficial to those who benefit those rights. It is not that people who abuse rights don't benefit. People who abuse rights of workers are beneficiaries of that abuse. People who violate the rights of the working people are beneficiaries of that violation. And because of that, they do not want the workers to rise up to speak about their rights. Because if you do, you are denying them the benefits they are deriving from abuse. You are denying them the benefits they are deriving from violation of those rights. Exactly, these two words look to be the same, but they are used differently. Therefore, would like to make sure that we continue speaking about this subject, because the people who abuse rights cannot set a standard for us. It is wrong for people who are involved in abuse of rights of other people to start setting standards for the people whom they are abusing. The people who feel that their rights are abused should rise up and say, no, this is not proper. Because we cannot live in a society in this present day generation where rights of the working people are so easily trampled upon, and it becomes so normal that it should be the normal way of work, that even politicians, people in positions of leadership rise up and they speak about it so casually, like as though it is very normal. It's like you should never even talk about it. Yeah? This society of ours, people have reached a stage where they are conscious, like it's like they are seared with a hot iron, that they don't have any more feelings for the people. They don't have any more feelings for the people that they lead. That when the people come up to speak even about the very basics, they feel offended. They feel offended and they rise up, ridiculing and speaking all manner of things, but they do that, not that they don't know. They are aware, but it's an embarrassment to them. It is an embarrassment to them to speak about rights not being respected. There is no leader in Uganda today who doesn't know that respecting the rights of the people is important. But because of the desire, the pursuit of benefits they derive from this abuse, they end up leaving things the way they are. They end up suppressing the people who speak about the rights of the people. And I would want today to speak about this. When we talk about the rights of the people being abused or being violated, who are the people who abuse these rights? This is something that we must understand, so that even when we are saying we are going to work in partnership with certain groups of people, we must know that we are working with them, but they are the ones who are abusing our rights. I would want to build on what I spoke earlier concerning tripartism. Tripartism has got an element of the government, the workers, and the employers. But who are these people who are abusing the rights of the workers? The most interesting thing is that these are the partners we have. The partners we have are the very people who are abusing our rights. And these are the people we are partnering with. You see the irony? The abuse of rights. The first group of people that abuse workers' rights, number one, is government. The government is number one in the abuse of the rights of the working people. But you see, government under the ILO is a social partner. So we must partner with the government, even when the same government is the very one that is abusing our rights. We must work with employers, even when these employers are the very one who are abusing our rights. They abuse the rights of the working people, but again, they are categorized as social partners. So for us who stand up, having originated from amongst the workers, we stand up to speak for these rights. We are talking to people who actually are the culprits, who actually are the people who are involved in abuse. But ILO makes them to function together with us as trade unions in the angle of partnership. And this partnership, both the government and the employers have a lot of influence. They wield a lot of power in determining how things must be done in the partnership itself. So trade unions who are advocating for the rights of the working people must be able to understand this irony, so that even when we are dealing with the government, when we are dealing with employers, we are not dealing with the innocent partners. We are dealing with partners who are actually directly involved in the abuse. And the purpose of partnership is so that we can be able to solve the question of abuse. It's so that we can solve the problem of violation. So these rights that we are talking about, people who abuse these rights, who deny workers their rights, number one is government. Number two, employer. Then we ourselves who are here, who are now talking to both government and employer. That's why you find that government and employers are always together. They are always in agreement. Even when you are talking of a partnership, they are always in agreement. When a major decision is going to be taken, they always come together and agree. Then they come to say, let us now have a dialogue meeting with the trade unions. But in many cases, the views of the employers and the views of government are always in tandem. They are always in agreement. It is us now who are now dealing with the two forces, powerful forces. That's why, brothers and sisters, we should never spend a lot of time on internal fights. Internal fights are wasting a lot of our energy. The forces we are dealing with are powerful forces. If we are not smart enough to make these forces stop abuse of workers' rights, it's not going to be an easy exercise for us. So spending a lot of time on internal fighting, we are now allowing these forces that are involved in abuse of our rights to go scot-free. They sit there now and even are laughing at us. They even determine, they say, nah, those people are still fighting. Let us go ahead. If you look at what we have experienced over the past period, where we are involved in struggles among ourselves, so many things have been done. Even laws have been passed that are not in favor of the workers at all. Laws have been passed that are not in any way favorable to the workers. And even when you go to appear before a parliamentary committee to present the views of the workers, Parliamentary committee, even sometimes we go there and are clashing from there. We are supposed to be one person who are going there to present views that are actually going to help address the problems of the workers. But even on such platforms like the Committee of Parliament, we go there and the people are bringing disagreements there. This is a point I wanted you to understand in the earlier presentations I made concerning the fact that you are the greatest enemy of your own cause. We ourselves are fighting our own cause for whatever reason, which we will eventually come down to break later. But the question now is that we have government, we have the employers, who are very powerful partners, who actually are working in cohort, they are in partnership. And actually both of them, in one way or the other, have some element of conspiracy against workers. It may not be written, it may not be documented, but in many cases, because of the converging interests, these two work together to disadvantage the workers. Of course, I know that we are also, to a certain extent, working with them, but working with them from the aspect of public relations, but not from the perspective of delivering a service to the working people. So we must be very careful as we deal with issues relating with workers today, so that when we are coming up and we are speaking about workers' rights, we don't start talking to people like as if we are in agreement with them. We are not in agreement with them. Even where there is an agreement, you will see them rejecting. I want to give an example of public service. You remember that useless organ you call the Public Service Negotiation and Dispute Settlement Machinery. That one. It negotiated an agreement, collective bargaining agreement. Where is it? That agreement provided by this period 2023, the minimum worker in public service was supposed to earn 1.1 billion shillings. In that agreement, that is what was provided for. That is what we had agreed upon. And the agreement was signed by government. Later on, they completely turned and threw it away. You talk about it like they just want to stone you to death. Nobody wants to refer to it. But you can see, after we labored so much, for so long, years and years of advocacy, and we said now finally, we have an agreement with the government, let's go ahead and implement it. Eventually, the question of divide and rule came in. The unions started being divided. I'm going to talk about the public service negotiation and dispute settlement machinery later, but you know that is another very useless organ that will never deliver anything to the workers of Uganda. I know very well because I've tried it. And that's why you find at some stage when we try to participate in negotiations, we were involved in negotiations thinking that this platform is going to deliver. But you know, experience has taught that it can never deliver. And some wise people maybe saw it much more earlier and completely denounced it. It is a very, very, very useless organ. It can never help the workers, the public servants, get justice. That one, public service unions, take note. If you doubt, continue. You'll wake up when you are already too late, too old, and there will be nothing that you would have got from that machinery. The rights that we are speaking about here are rights that are violated, that are abused by government and employers. And you, brothers and sisters in the trade union movement, you must know that very well. Keep reminding yourself who is abusing our rights, who is violating our rights. And it must always be clear in all meetings, government and employers. Don't fear to state government and employers because you want to please them. You want to appear good to them. They are abusing our rights. They are abusing our rights, and they must be told so that they can know their limits. Beyond here, we are stepping on people's toes. Yes, we have to make sure we lead the government. We want peace. Everybody wants to enjoy peace everywhere, but not at the expense of the people. Please, don't teach us peace at our expense. Peace is supposed designed to be for us. And every time we speak about the rights of the people, you say, oh, we have fought very hard, we have done this, at whose expense? Please listen. listen to the rights of the people, listen to the voices of the people, and ensure the rights of the working people in Uganda are respected. So the point of who is abusing our rights must be well understood, and I hope all of you trade union leaders and the workers of Uganda, wherever you are, you must understand this point. Don't again say, oh, rights of workers. Then when it comes to solving the right of the worker, the person who is abusing the right is the very one you are surrendering yourself to. What kind of madness is this? The person is abusing your rights, and then you totally surrender. Please do to me whatever you want, as long as you have given me a small piece of bread. What is that trade unionism real? Do to me whatever you want, as long as you have given me something that is going to help me, maybe solve problem A. Completely you abandon the cause instead of standing on the right path and saying, no, please, even as we work together, even as we sit in this meeting, let it first of all be understood that you have abused our rights. You have violated against our rights. You are responsible for ABCD. When you point out and there is an agreement that yes, it is true, actually, we have abused rights, that is already a very big step forward. That means that you are going to correct the situation. But if you have people whom you are just moving with continuously, they continue stepping on your toes, you don't tell them. Now, what kind of relationship is that? This is a point that I would want all the trade unions in the country to be able to understand, to be able to appreciate it, to be able to acknowledge and stop this useless hypocrisy of saying, oh, me, I'm doing very well. Some of the agreements you people are signing, when you look at them, you begin wondering, now, what kind of agreement is this? Collective bargaining agreement. When you analyze the benefits workers derive from those agreements, you don't even see anything. Go back even yourselves and start reading the agreement, the so-called collective bargaining agreements that you have signed, and you realize that the workers have benefited in that. This being the case, we therefore must be able to come back and say, what should be the best way forward now? Let's not become desperate. Let's not give up. Let us be able to come up and do something that is much more better. That's going to help the people or the people that we represent. We have got to understand also, what are these rights? What are these rights that are being abused? These rights that are being abused, where are they? Why are these people talking about rights? Which are these rights? These rights that we talk about, which ones are they? I am now going to enumerate these rights, because already my time is running out. I would want to enumerate these rights, but with a view that I handle it separately, so that you are able to appreciate that yes, we have talked about rights. We have understood the people who have abused our rights, and the same people we are sitting with them around the table every day, pretending to be solving the problem. Just because we don't want to offend them, we want to speak very carefully so that they are not offended. Otherwise, they can march out of the meeting. My friend, if you want to march out of the meeting, you march out. But someone must tell you the truth, that what you are doing is not right. This is the way we must move. Let us stop pretending. Let us stop hypocrisy and deal with issues in the way they must be dealt with. Thank you very much, colleagues, for listening to me. I will be able to continue with the aspect of the rights that are being abused at a different stage. Thank you very much. Have a great day.